Welcome back to Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. Glad you're still with us. Our guest is Raphael Sonenshein. He is the new executive director of the Pat Brown Institute of Public Affairs at Cal State Los Angeles. Congratulations. I've known you from Cal State Fullerton, but you've changed institutions.
Oh, thank you.
And what is the Pat Brown Institute?
The Pat Brown Institute was set up by the other Governor Brown.
Yes.
You remember there have been several Governor Browns.
I have, yes.
After he left office, he wanted his legacy to be maintained, and after a lot of debate, set up an institute and eventually put it at Cal State University, Los Angeles, which is the Cal State system's the largest public university system in the country, perhaps in the world. And it's really a system about upward mobility for students to have opportunity. And I think that really appealed to him, and it's an institute that really pursues the study and practice of public affairs.
And appeal to you to leave Cal State Fullerton after 30 years. That's a big move.
30 happy years.
I was going to
Could
say.
not have been happier.
But you're still in the Cal State system.
I'm still in the system.
I want to talk about a report that the Institute recently issued. It's the annual State of the City report focusing on Los Angeles, both city and county. Headlines.
The headlines of this report, we hired the Economic Roundtable.
Yes.
Daniel Fleming and Patrick Burns did a really great job on this. There's some plenty of good news on the economy at the big level, but when you come down to the local level, things are going to get better, but it's going to take a while.
I want to focus on one specific group, and that is Latinos. This city is seeing a tremendous growth spurt in terms of the Latino population. And we honor the diversity that is Los Angeles and the region. I read, I'm sure you did as well, that Latinos actually seem to be doing a little better than other ethnic groups in this economic downturn. Is that what you're seeing in this report?
I think this report doesn't see it yet, because when you get right down to the base level, they're still struggling a lot economically in LA, partly because of a lack of education. But if a number of professions start to come back, such as construction and some of the other professions that working class communities have been able to prosper in, you will start to see those national numbers start to really work in Los Angeles.
Is construction coming back? That was a huge driver in the last decade.
It was, and my rule is the hard hat rule. If you see a lot of hard hats around town, the noise will annoy you, the pollution will bother you, and the country's going to be much better
I
off.
remember in better times, Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa of Los Angeles said he wanted the crane to be our city's bird. But it's not so much right now.
Not so much right now. In fact, in this recession, the biggest loss of jobs has been construction. And don't forget, construction pays well.
Right.
And throughout the country, if they can start putting money into construction, into infrastructure, if the transportation programs in LA start to take off, where the federal government would send some loans in advance.
The 30-10 proposal.
The 30-10 proposal. And you start seeing those cranes come up, he's absolutely right.
I want to focus also on employment generally. We do see unemployment dropping, and that's good news. But there does seem to be a challenge with underemployment. And this report talks about that.
Yeah, that's why this report is very good. It goes to the grassroots level. It's going to take a long time for those dropping numbers to hit Los Angeles. But at the same time, you have to think about not just who's out of work, but who's working part-time, who wants to work full-time, and even worse, who wants to work but has given up looking for work. You put those three together, you have underemployment. And the other really striking thing they found is that in Los Angeles, right now, a college education hasn't been a very good umbrella in the midst of the storm of this recession. A lot of people with a college degree are having a very hard time.
In our final moments, sir, I want to talk about housing prices. They still seem to be high, even for rentals.
It's very hard for rentals. For renters, it's been the worst of all possible worlds, because the housing crisis, of course, doesn't affect them directly.
Right.
But the employment crisis and rents are still very high in Los Angeles, and people's commute time to get to work is very high. They're depending on public transportation. I guess the bottom line of it is I'm very hopeful. By 2016, things should be a lot better in LA, but hopefully sooner. Thanks
for joining us, Raphael Sonenshein. I'm Brad Pomerance. Thanks for watching Charter Local Edition. Back to HLN.
March 4th begins Agriculture Week in California. I'm a farmer who came to Sacramento so that agriculture could have a voice in the state capitol. Agriculture affects all of us, whether you're a production agriculture farmer or you're a consumer. And agricultural products help us all, $24 billion contribution to our economy. Celebrate Agriculture Week by going to your local farmer's market or your store and appreciating what those agricultural commodities are about and where they come from. Enjoy agriculture. It's a big